Welcome back to Working Class Customs YouTube channel. Welcome back to Stable B once again. It is still our favorite place. It's getting to be springtime, summertime almost. Tracks are opening up. Track days are aplenty, pretty much across the entire US. There are some spots, sorry about our kind of more wintry spots in the nation. Your track days are gonna take a couple months because it's still cold and there may or may not be snow on the ground. So I apologize for that. But out here where I'm at, they're definitely ramping up like crazy, and I know California is still going, and up the coast we're starting to get going. Texas is always going, so if you live down there, lucky you. But today we're gonna talk about lids, helmets, protection for your dome. So before we do that, as always, please go click the subscribe button down below if you haven't yet. Throw a like on the video, and then I always ask my track day junkies, my veterans, my club racers, people that have been doing this for a while, they got a lot more experience than I do. Please throw your feedback in the comments. Let me know if what I'm saying is ringing true, or if you've heard something different. Correct me if I'm wrong. I love the feedback. I'm not here to say that I'm a know-all and I know everything. I'm just here to put out the information that I do know, or that I think I know, and that I've heard and learned to be correct as much as possible, but I can always take corrections from you guys that might know more. So with that, we'll go ahead and get into helmets. And the topic today is gonna be, can I take my helmet to the track, or do I need a new one, and what are the requirements for track day helmet? All right, so first off, we have a perfect example of what a good track day helmet is. And unfortunately, I don't have a bad example for you guys, but I'll talk about what a bad example would be. But this is an Icon Alliance GT. I don't think they really make it anymore, but it was a pretty good helmet back in the day. The first thing we're gonna look for in this helmet is that it's full face. So, yep, it's full face. That simply means that it covers your entire face. All right, you got a Icon's freaking visor box. You got a visor, and it comes and it covers your entire face. Can't have a 3/4, can't have a half, gotta have a full face helmet. Now the other part of that is a lot of these helmets will be what's called modular. And again, I'm sorry I don't have an example. I don't buy modular helmets, or at least I haven't yet. Maybe we will eventually, who knows? But I don't have any right now. But that's good because you can't take a modular helmet to the racetrack. So modular, which those of you that own modular helmets, let me know if I'm saying this correctly, but effectively you can bring your visor up and down, then you can also bring this entire chin piece up and down. So there'd be like some sort of mechanism right here where this entire chin piece, once you unlock it, can come all the way up and all the way back down. And that is essentially a 3/4 helmet. So the racetracks and different places in the country / in the world have decided that's not as safe as a full face, all the way around helmet. And there's a possibility that module breaks off when you make impact or whatever else. So they say, hey, we're just not gonna have that on the racetrack. Don't want you to lose your jawbone out there, so you need a full face helmet. So that's number one. Number two, gotta have a windscreen on it. That's pretty obvious. I'm not gonna talk about tinted versus non-tinted windscreens today. I can tell you this isn't the helmet that I actually run. I'll show you mine in a second, but I run a tinted windscreen, visor, windscreens on your bike, visor. Yeah, there's if it's a sunny day, you're gonna want tinted. If it's not a sunny day, you're not gonna want tinted. But you don't want it so freaking tinted that you can't see out of it. So kind of take that in mind. But anyway, the other thing we're gonna look for, most racetracks and track day organizations in the US are gonna wanna, well, they're gonna have helmet requirements. Sometimes they'll wanna inspect your helmet, they wanna see it. Other times they won't. I've been to places where they don't care. I've been to places where they don't even do bike tech. I've been to other places where you gotta bring all your gear, your helmet, your bike, your boots. I don't even know what else, but it felt like everything, basically your entire pit, over to tech inspection, and they inspect all of it. So I can see both sides of that. You don't want holes in your suit, you don't want a broken helmet, and you wanna make sure your helmet is the right helmet, correct helmet, and properly rated. So back here you have your rating sticker. I'll move in a little bit closer. Hopefully we can see this. I'll put it next to my head. You can see it's got DOT on it, and there's a little ECE rating down in there. So ECE is like European something or other, and it's just a little bit higher. Like if DOT's here, ECE is here, and Snell is up here. So that's just a rating. I have been to a track day where they required an ECE rating of at least blah, which this says R2205. Not even sure what that means. Never worried about it. I saw the ECE on the back and I was like, all right, we're good to go. So just something to keep in mind when you're doing your track days. A DOT might not be quite enough. I haven't ever seen someone that requires a Snell, but they say ECE or Snell equivalent rated helmet is required. So they want something just a little bit more than the United States Department of Transportation rating, because to be quite honest, that rating doesn't mean a ton. There are some helmets out there that are not that safe, just to put it bluntly, right? There are different states in America where you're required to wear a helmet, other states where you're not required, and so people have gone to quite crazy lengths to figure out how they can wear a helmet and make it look like they're still not wearing a helmet. So, and still have the correct DOT rating, because that's what's required on the roads in the United States. But I would search for the ECE or the Snell rating. If you're buying like a Shoei with a Snell, then you're probably good to go. If you're spending that much money, that's fine, that's great, it works well. But that's what you're gonna wanna get. All right, next up, we're gonna talk about this guy. One, this is an OGO helmet bag. They're pretty sweet. I have flown with this. Works as a carry-on, at least for Delta. Makes it super nice for being able to fly with a helmet. if you need to do that. Like I have mentioned before in other videos, I have a suit in Utah, but I didn't want to buy a second helmet because I like mine quite a bit. So I bought this bag, and we'll continue to talk about that for a bit. But it's pretty sweet. It's got good protection. It'll fit almost any size helmet. And it's also got these kind of pockets in the back. So I just have my gloves in there, and then I keep some earplugs down in there. Super nice. Like it a lot. Not sponsored by OGO, but if you're looking for a helmet bag, it's a good option. I think you can get them on Amazon. Now, we're gonna talk about this helmet. This is the one that I wear at the track days, which I'm actually about to replace because it's getting a little old. But once again, hopefully, it'll look a little closer this time. There's our DOT rating and our ECE R2205. So once again, that's a European standard, just saying like, hey, we tested this a little bit more than the American DOT requirement. We know it's that much extra safe. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was just, and look at that design. It's freaking cool. So safety rating, 100% the most important. Helmet's gotta be safe. Gotta have that safety rating. Talk about tinted visors. This is the visor that I run. This is my Trackday helmet. I like this helmet a lot. This is the Icon Airframe Pro. It's got a very good shape to it. So the one thing I will say when you're looking at Trackday helmets, on the back of your suit or your jacket is gonna be the speed hump. I can show you that a little bit right here. Kind of hard to see, and I apologize for that. But that's our speed hump. That speed hump is gonna get in the way a little bit when you go to turn your head. So if you have a super big, long helmet, they make helmets in all shapes and sizes. Some of them are long oval, round oval, 3/4 oval, whatever. It's gonna get in the way and it's gonna be kind of hard. So I like this design specifically because it's got this little kind of spoiler back here, and then it's a short oval, and it's got this little bit of upper right there. So it makes it a lot easier to turn my head face off. Let's see if we can see that better. See how the back of it's not actually sitting on the ground perfectly? So that sits over the speed hump really well. So just keep in mind when you're picking out a helmet, the shape of it does matter a little bit. You might not buy something you would have bought before. I have a round helmet over there that I use. That's a long oval, and it made it very difficult to turn my head. All right, and the only other thing I was gonna say on that is that you should pick a helmet that you enjoy to look at. Also, I will say, when you go to do track days, you're gonna want your pictures. They sell pictures, they take pictures, you're gonna wanna get them back. It's a lot easier to pick yourself out if you know your helmet, and your helmet's not just, I got a black suit, black bike, black helmet, black boots, black gloves. Everything's the same color, right? So if everything's the same color, it's a lot harder to pick yourself out. So if you at least have a big, bright, kind of crazy, nice helmet, then it's a lot easier to pick yourself out. But that's not super important. I like helmet designs. I think it's somewhere where you can kind of pick something that suits you, it matches your fit and your style, whatever else it might be, but not super important. The important thing is you hit the safety rating that's required. Don't get a modular helmet. If you have a modular helmet right now, or you're out looking at your helmet because of this video and you're like, oh, it just says DOT, I can't find anything else, might be time to invest in a new one. Also, if your helmet gets so old, if your helmet's getting a little old, the chemicals inside the helmet that harden on impact, that's what actually kind of keeps you safe. They're gonna take that impact and then transfer it all the way around, and then it's gonna harden up. One, if you drop your helmet or you go down and your helmet hits the ground or anything like that, your helmet's done. You gotta get a new one. That's a requirement, and it's due to the construction of the helmet. They're built for a one-time crash, right? So hopefully you don't crash that much, but they do their job, they do it great, and then they say, hey, we're done, go get a new one. But also, if it's getting old, those chemicals can kind of wear out. It's a lot like tires, where if it's getting to the 5, 6, 7, 8, 10-year mark, or this is the helmet my dad gave me, it's what he grew up using, it might be time to get a new helmet and look into it. So either way, whether it's because you don't have the right one, or yours is getting old, or you just want a style change, whatever it might be, those are the things I'd keep in mind. Looking for that ECE rating at least. Looking for something that's gonna be the right shape so that you can move around in it comfortably. If you wanna spend a ton of money, you go get something super lightweight. Venting is important, especially on a racetrack. In the hot summer weather, you wanna have some good venting, but I will also say that you don't want something that's gonna vent straight into your eyeballs, because it'll dry your eyes out throughout the day. I've had that problem before. But I think that's all I got. Once again, track day guys that have been out there, if you got helmet recommendations, please throw them down in the comments. You can spend anywhere from $200 all the way to like $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 on a helmet. I understand that. I think the Alpenstar's Super Tech R10 or whatever is like a $2,500 helmet. I imagine it's super nice. Haven't gotten one to test yet, and I apologize for that. But like I said, throw your helmet recommendations down in the comments, and then you guys that are going to the track for the first time this year, go double check your helmet, make sure it's gonna meet all those requirements, and if you need to purchase a new one, go grab a new one. Keep in mind those things I was talking about while you do. And then, since it's the end of the video, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe to the channel, and then go check out our t-shirts down below. We got this one, many more, some big designs on the front, designs on the back. You guys buy some t-shirts, support us so we can keep supporting you, keep growing the community and getting the channel built and grown, and keep giving you guys this good content. That's all I got for this week. Appreciate you guys watching and listening. We'll see you next week.